Yo, what's up, guys? Dante here. Welcome back to another episode or video, I should say, about my thoughts on manga and anime. So, I ran out of time in the previous video. The whole point of making that last video, it wasn't necessarily to show and review what I was reading, but there was an actual point I was trying to make. I just got caught up in what I was doing. And I like these series. I want you to go out there and check them out if you can. If you like them, awesome. If you don't like them, they're not your taste. Hey, it is what it is. You know, you gave it a shot, and that's all that matters. Um, but the main point of the last video was why I don't why I don't watch series that I'm also reading, and I'm going to explain uh, right now. So, for example, this is my continue reading page on viz.com. Blue Exorcist. For how long that series has been running, and the last time I watched the original series, there's really no reason for me to go back and watch it. And I'll explain. Blue Exorcist back in the day was was a victim of what a lot of anime went through back in the day. And you can look at everything. You look at Bleach, One Piece, Naruto, Blue Exorcist, d.gray-man, Full Metal. Um, a lot of them shows back in the day, because anime, at least over here in the West and even over in Japan, back then the way, streaming and getting stuff out on time and animating and all this stuff was a lot. It took a little bit longer, and you couldn't run series simultaneous with the manga because, like I said, stuff wasn't coming out as fast. Blue Exorcist came out at a time where when they ran the anime, there was not enough material to complete the first season. I don't know how you even greenlight the anime to be made if you didn't have enough material to make a full season that follows the story. Now, I don't mind filler, but you can't have a whole half a season be Soul Eater. Another example, same thing. Um, where essentially the whole second half of Blue Exorcist, mind you, the first 12, 13 episodes of Blue Exorcist, it's only like the first, realistic, like the first maybe 20 to 25 chapters, like, or probably about 25 to 30 chapters. It's like the first half of Blue Exorcist. And then after that, I didn't know at the time that that was not correct. So what happens is the series, they filled in the rest of the half of the season, because remember back in the day, if you were an average anime fan, a lot of anime was 24, 26 episode season. Nowadays, everything is 13 episode seasons. If you got some on Netflix, it's like 10 episodes. I'm like, that's not a season, y'all. That's like a quarter. That's like, depending on the depending on the show, that's like a quarter of a season. That's like, well, like a third of a season, if we're being honest. You know what I'm saying? So what happens is the show went on. It is what it is. And then I was like, you know what? This is a very cool thing. And mind you, I read Blue Exorcist way back in the day, because I was very interested in the story after the anime. Find out that the thing with the filler. So what happens is years later, and we're talking about almost 10 years later, they come out with a new anime season, and it's the Kyoto arc. So the Kyoto arc is what's supposed to happen after the first season of the Kyoto arc is supposed to be right after the first half of the first season. So you have that first half of the season, the first 13 episodes, and then the Kyoto arc is supposed to start after that. The problem is, I guess they didn't. I guess they didn't have enough time to let the manga catch up to do its thing and then animate it. So they just had to, I guess, just fill in the spots. But they never continued until, like I said, until about I forgot when that Kyoto arc. I think it was like the last couple of years they finally came out. And my thing is, I'm so far ahead of it. I know what happens, and essentially, what you're going to have people doing if they start with the anime, um, it's going to confuse people because they'll watch the whole first season, the whole 24 episodes, and then they're going to watch the Kyoto arc. Which I tried to watch the Kyoto arc. I tried to watch the first few episodes, but then I was like, it's kind of weird because if you watch it in succession, you're watching 24 episodes. So essentially, you're watching first half filler and then the actual anime. And I guess you can say, well, everything did that back in the day, yeah. But you didn't make it a whole new season. You just made it or a whole, yeah, you didn't make it a whole new season. You just continued on like in Bleach. You had the Soul Society, then you had the Bounce arc, okay, and then you had the Waco Mundo. No problem with that because the way they did it, they didn't make it out as its own anime season. It was just a continuation of the series. You know what I mean? Um, yeah. So same thing with d.gray-man. d.gray-man is a little bit different. For me, the reason I don't go back because they made a sequel season. Same thing. Years down the line after the show had been off for we talking about 6 7 years, and we all know well we don't all know, but there's the manga for d.gray-man has had a lot of health issues recently. And I told you in the last episode, they added like 15 chapters to the app, which I was very surprised, very shocked. I was very happy because I really wanted to see where this was going and how it's going to end up. Um, but yeah, um, that's another thing. Now this one didn't have. From what I remember, I don't think d.gray-man had the same issue. It just didn't do well enough to warrant more anime, which happens. But I guess people talked about it and it made an uproar and they wanted more, so they made I guess like a sequel series to the original. And I have not watched it this day because when I don't know I'm so far. Like I said, I've gotten to a point where I'm so far ahead. I don't really want to wait for the stuff to be animated. It's actually, to be fair, it's actually quicker to wait for the stuff to come out in manga form than it is for anime. Um, and the way their health is going, the mangakas, who knows how long it is before you know what I'm saying? Who knows how long it'll take Blue Exorcist and d.gray-man to make anime series that'll catch up to the manga. The way the gap between the first two series, if you follow that trend, you'll be waiting what 20 years for d.gray-man and Blue Exorcist to catch up in the anime. And then like these series didn't do huge anyway. They were very good shows, but the mangas were better. Same thing with Twin Star Exorcist. Um, the manga is so much. The manga just leaps and bounds above the anime. Like I said, for some reason, Twin Star Exorcist, I could never get into the anime. I watched like the first episode, subbed and dubbed. I just could never get into it. I decided to read it, and it's just something about reading it. I don't know what it is. It's just a lot better to me. I don't know. Chainsaw Man, I have no desire to watch the anime. I know that sounds weird, and you see my screen how I'm caught up to it. I don't know. I just don't have a desire to watch it. I'll just wait for the weekly stuff and then read it that way, or bi-weekly, I guess, with Chainsaw Man. Same thing with Jujutsu Kaisen. I have no desire to watch it. Um, it's not that I'm against the animes. I find it hard to watch stuff after I'm reading it. Now I can go the other way. I can watch something and then want to go read it. That's different. Like the anime, the couple of a couple of cuckoos. That's something I want to read. The quintessential quince. That's something I want to go read. Once I finish a couple of cuckoos, but quintessential quince, I got to finish that, and then I'm gonna go and try to find someone to read it. That's something that I can go that way. I can't go the opposite way. Same thing with Mission Yuzako Family. They're getting a anime adaptation. I think it's early next year. I'm not gonna watch it just because I don't know. I don't have time to really sit around and watch anime too much because everything I got work, I'm making stuff for the channel. I got other obligations. I'd rather I don't know. I just rather put that time. Like I can read chapters in between stuff I'm doing. Like when I'm making videos, I can read chapters going to work, coming home from work. You know what I'm saying? I got more time to fit into content than I guess I can watch anime going to and from work. But I don't know. I'd rather watch a YouTube video to be honest. Um, with a Spy X Family, I'm not gonna watch it. Kaiji number 8, probably not gonna watch it. Now this could all change. You know what I'm saying? This ain't set in stone. This is how I feel right now. I could always end up going like one day. You're like, you know what? I want to watch something. I have some free time, and I go back and I'll restart one of these series. But for the most part, I'm there's no hurry or there's no urgency for me to go watch these shows when I can read them at a quicker pace, and I don't have to worry about if the show's going to get canceled, how far it's going to go. Because of watching the whole point of a manga series, it's not obviously you want to entertain, you want to make the good stories, you want to make the manga sell. But if you do get it adapted, you hope that the whole series gets adapted. Like there's so many shows out there that I've read the manga for where they only get like 13, 26. If they get like a full real anime season, they get like two 13 episode series. Or if they get like, are they going to just get you never know with the anime because there's more that goes into it. You can make a manga go forever and never get it adapted. You know what I'm saying? Like the anime could get canceled, but you can go 10, 12 years later and still be making the series. Like Seraph of the End is another one. Uh, I've never seen World Trigger, the anime. Twin Star Exorcist, that's still going strong. The manga, but like you see what I'm saying, like all the mangas, um, all the mangas for these series, they outdo and outsell the anime. Now I get the anime is meant to, I guess, promote the books because they want you to buy the books, they want you to read the mangas. But I don't know, man. There should be some hope when you're watching a series that is going to conclude in you want to watch the manga you read. You want to get the full adaptation. You know what I'm saying? Like you watch Harry Potter, you read all the Harry Potter books, but guess what? You also got 8 movies that completed the series. You know what I mean? Stuff like that. Hunger Games, I guess Divergent. I'm not too familiar with Divergent or Hunger Games, but I'm pretty sure that's closer to what happens in some of these. Um, like a perfect example would be the I Am Number 4 series. I Am Number 4 series had like 9 books, right? Because of how bad the movie did, I think it's a good movie. The box office sales, a different story. It only got one. It only got one movie. Now it ends. It ends where it definitely could be concluded if they wanted to go back and do it. I think this is off tangent, but I think for I Am Number 4, I think they need to go back and redo it. They got to get a younger guy to play number four. I think the problem is they try to go with the no offense to the guy that played number four, but they try to go with the guy that was like the most physically pleasing to look at, and he wasn't the greatest actor in the world, but they went with the guy that I guess could. They tried to bring in. They went with the more aesthetically pleasing looking guy, even though his acting wasn't the greatest, and I don't know. He doesn't really fit the bill. Like if you read the book, it's been a while since I read the book, but the way he's depicted in the movie is not. Um, from what I remember, that's not what he's really. That's not what he really looks like. They made him seem like he was like built like Ichigo, but he's not. He's just like a normal size teenager. Obviously, he's an alien, but you know what I'm saying? Like that's the thing they always do in the YA movies. They always try to make the guys or the girls a lot more aesthetically pleasing than they're actually depicted. Because I know you want to sell tickets and get people in the seats, but sometimes you gotta. There always has to be sacrifice in art. You got to get rid of something in order to elevate something. Everything can't. It's very hard to elevate everything to the same level. There has to be some kind of checks and balances. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, that's just. I don't know. That was mainly the point of why I made the last video. It wasn't necessarily to show you guys what I was reading. Although a lot of stuff has been added to that list since March. So definitely check that out. But yeah, man, that's why I just don't watch. I don't watch the anime of stuff I'm reading currently, just because I don't know. Part of it's just disappointment. Like I said, like Blue Exorcist needed to just come back and just reboot it and just do it the right way. I don't know why they're afraid to do that. Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood is the biggest successful anime reboot you could say in history. Because everyone complains. I'm not a Berserk guy, but people get on Berserk all the time. Like, oh, this looks bad. This doesn't follow the story. What is this? Nothing beats the original 90 series, 2000 series of Berserk. You know what I'm saying? Um, yeah, man. I don't know. Like if you're gonna be adding, if you're gonna reboot series, if you're gonna add sequel series anyway, why not just reboot it, give it a fresh coat of paint? You got plenty of potential. There's no reason why they can't go back and reboot Blue Exorcist at this point. I mean, at this point, it's too late now. They already did the Kyoto arc, and then they're supposed to be getting the arc after that. So I mean, at that point, it is what it is. D.gray-man has no. Well, I guess you don't know. We don't know if it's going to end. That's not a good example. Like Sarah for the End. There's no Twin Star Exodus. There's no reason why y'all can't go back. Because I've seen pictures of this where they changed a lot of stuff in the manga, add characters that didn't exist and skip arcs. Um, what's the Promise Neverland? Excuse me, I'm mixing up something else. Promise Neverland is something that from what I've heard, they butchered the second season, and that was one of the reasons that was one of the main reasons why I never went back and watched the second season, because what I've heard, and that was another thing. I watched Promise Neverland, that got me into the manga, and I was like, let me check this out. And Promise Neverland is like in my top 5 mangas of all time. That's not an exaggeration. I've read not as much manga as like the biggest manga head, but like I've read enough where like that is in my top 5 for real. For real. I'm not gonna go through them, but that's definitely a top 5 manga. And I don't know, there was sometimes like I don't know what the decision was, because apparently they added stuff that wasn't in there. They took out a major arc. How do you take out a major arc? that's crazy. That's like taking out. That's like watching Bleach. That's like That's like animating Bleach, and you take out the Soul Society arc. That's a huge arc. That arc is responsible for first of all a lot of characters being introduced and a lot of development. Like you can't have Bleach and not have. First of all, you can't have Bleach without the Soul Society arc. You can't have Bleach without the the Waco Mundo. You can't have Bleach without the Katakura Town. You know, that's like taking out the major arc. I can see if you took out like you were making Bleach, like say you were making Bleach nowadays, and you took out like the Bound arc or the arc, the other filler arc, the Shinsuke something, the guy with the princess or whatever. If you took those out, that's cool. That's understandable. That has nothing. That really adds nothing. It's literally a filler arc. It has no bearings to the actual the actual story. So if you taking that out is cool, but if you take that's like taking out the main series arcs, and just adding whatever you want. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe that's something from the head guys, the corporate guys. I don't know what they're thinking, but I guess they think they work. I don't think they really understand it sometimes the decisions they be making. But yeah, yeah, man. I don't know. I can go from anime to manga. I can't go from manga to anime. But there's no reason. Nothing out there is like even like Attack on Titan. I've watched everything except for the very last end of it. I still have not seen those. But I would go back and read Attack on Titan just to see the difference. You know what I'm saying? Because that's the original source material. That's what's that's the most the canon events is in the manga because that's where it came from first. Um, I mean, there's certain liberties they can take with the anime, but that's the original. You can't, no matter what you say about Bleach, the actual Bleach manga that is the true story. You know what I'm saying? I know that I've heard stories about Bleach, and they're changing certain stuff and adding certain elements, and I get that, but that's more for for certain story elements to, I guess, float better. You know what I mean? So that I can give a pass. But even then, the Bleach manga that's it's over. That's the true story. It may not be necessarily better, but that's the true story. So yeah, but yeah, I don't know, man. Like I said, I can't do it. I can't do anime to manga. I can do manga to anime. You know what I'm saying? Because most of these anime they don't get they don't be getting their full shine. Now, obviously, Chainsaw Man will get its full run in the anime. Jujutsu Kaisen will, obviously, those are popping. Mayo's Aqua Family, I am not sure. Maybe it depends on it. I think it'll be a hit next year, but I don't think it'll get a full anime run. Spy X Family, I'm pretty sure that'll get a full anime run. Kaiju number 8, with the way kaiju's have been resurging. Like I said, you got the Godzilla movie that came out last week, and then you got a Godzilla movie and Kong next year, and then they're talking about the MonsterVerse, and then you got, like I said, all the kaiju's have been popping. Um, Basically, I mean, you can think Pacific. Say what you will about Pacific Rim. Pacific Rim is what gave kaiju's the resurgence because the year after, I think, yeah, the year after kaiju, the year after Pacific Rim, we got Godzilla 2014, and then we got Kong Skull Island, and then we got Pacific Rim 2, which I got, that ain't the greatest movie in the world, but Pacific Rim was so good it got a sequel. And then you got we got King of the Monsters, and then we got Godzilla vs Kong, and then we're getting Godzilla X Kong, and then we got the Netflix Pacific Rim, and then we got the Netflix Godzilla movies, and then you got the Toho stuff that's been coming out recently. It's like it's so much to do with kaiju's. I think the kaiju number 8 it'll get its full anime run. The manga's been popping, um, and I think we're getting to a point in the manga anyway. Where I think we probably got about real talk because I think we're about to get to like the big showdown soon, like very soon, I believe. So we're probably looking at if it comes out this a chapter, every week for 3 weeks, then it's the week off, and then you get back. So I say I think it'll get to about one. If I had to predict, we probably get to about 140 ish. I think it's about 40 more chapters because you don't have to. There's no reason to rush it. Maybe yeah. Uh, I say the leeway. I say we probably got about 20 to 40 more chapters of Kaiju number 8. Cause like I say, we're pretty much at the end almost, especially what happened in the last couple chapters. I think everyone's had. Is this spoilers? I don't think it's really spoilers because you have to know what I'm talking about. But everyone that's supposed to have a fight has gotten a fight. I'll say that. So I don't think there's really too much left. Especially like after the end, what else more could happen? You know what I'm saying? Or maybe there's a twist. Like that's what I said. It's probably about 20 to 40 more chapters because there's still a few things we gotta tie up, and plus the weekly the chapters on they're no more than like 24 pages anyway, and a bunch of them chapters are going to be a bunch of action anyway. It's not going to be a whole lot of like dialogue storytelling. It'll be more action. So yeah, but that'll definitely. I think that's another one that'll get its full run. But yeah, that's all I wanted to say. I don't know. I guess I can see why I couldn't get this in the last video. This is almost 30 minutes. But yeah, man. I don't know. What do you think? Can you read a manga and then want to go see it animated? No, I'm not saying I don't want to see it animated. I'm just letting you know, it doesn't give me the excitement to see stuff animated because I mean that's great. I mean that's the usually the logical progression. You make a story, you make a novel, a comic book, you make a manga. The next the next step in the conclusion is to get it animated, give it live action. That's usually the trend. Very rarely do you make something original that's like animated or like live action, and then it becomes like a book. It very rarely does that happen. It's usually the other way around. It's some kind of book before or a short story, and then it becomes animated. It becomes live action. It's very rarely that it goes the other way. But yeah, I think that's everything I got to say, man. That was just I don't know. It's something that's been on my mind for a while, and it's just I guess I just kind of had to break down to myself why I don't do anime the way I do. But yeah, I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. Like I said before, are you a manga reader that can get into a anime, or are you one of those anime watchers that likes to go the opposite way and likes to read the extra story? So yeah, let me know what you think. Thank you for watching. As always, hope you enjoyed, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.